I did this yesterday, and I'm gonna try and do it a little softer. And I didn't bring the details because I wasn't sure I wanted to go into it. Yesterday, it turned into a long, profanity-filled rant. I won't do that today. Instead, I'm going to frame this slightly different and mention that if you want to go out and read a news story that will hopefully rip your heart out, you can go and Google it, Google News or wherever you want to go, about an 11-year-old girl who was diagnosed with diabetes and who is now dead. Dead because her parents decided that rather than seeking medical treatment for something that was easily managed and cured, they would instead exercise their faith and pray for their daughter. Now, I recognize that this is not representative of the majority of any religious group. It's not representative of the majority of Christians. The news articles even made a point of saying that they didn't belong to any organized religion, although their practice was in keeping with things like Christian Science. I'm not trying to paint every Christian or believer with the same brush. Some of these issues are difficult. What rights do parents have? What responsibilities do they have with regard to the children that they're guardians of? What responsibilities does society have to protect those children when the parents, don't exercise good judgment? In this case, it's not even a matter of poor judgment. It's a decision that, despite the progresses of science, despite the fact that their daughter had been diagnosed and could have been treated, they decided to leave it up to their faith. And their conclusion was, at the end of it, when she died, that she simply didn't have enough faith, but they're optimistic that she might still be eligible for resurrection.
Seriously, it said that.
Yes. This is one of many things that religion does to poison the minds of people. It prevents you from making good decisions. I'm not saying these people are the status quo, but they killed their daughter. Oh yeah, I recognize there's a significant difference between actually sticking a knife in her and allowing nature to take its course, or allowing God to decide whether or not it's her time to go. But there's no reason to mince words. They killed their daughter. They are ultimately responsible for her death because they were her guardians and they failed to take the necessary steps that were obvious and available to save her life. And this isn't the first time it happens. This happens quite a bit. And the courts usually back away and say, oh, it's a difficult situation and we're sure where we should get involved. And I agree. But the one thing we can do is continue to educate people and to continue to speak out against, oh, well, what's so wrong with religion? This is what's wrong with religion. I realize it doesn't affect everybody, but it's also not the only thing that's wrong with religion. There's a little 11-year-old girl who's dead now because her parents were stupid and superstitious. If that doesn't bother you, you may be beyond hope. You have no moral compass. You can talk all day long about how your morals are derived from Christianity or from Jesus or from a God or from Buddha or from whatever. This is where we come up with our moral code. No, it's not. It's nonsense. The moral system presented by most religions is some of the most unjust, capricious nonsense anybody's ever come up with. The handful of good things there, like don't kill each other or don't steal somebody else's stuff, you don't need a God to tell you that. And if you do, you're also beyond hope. But when you sit by and allow religious freedom to be used as an excuse for irresponsibility that results in murder, you're complicit, you're immoral, and your religion has poisoned your mind just as much as those people's have. It's obscene, and it needs to stop. And that's all I have to say about that. But we have more callers on the line, too.
Well said.
Thank you.